Hi, it's Cass. I'm finally going to make a video on YouTube about the devil. I know that I missed my Mabon reading. I'm not doing it, point blank. Just not feeling it this year. It's been a week, so I'd be a week late, and we're almost in the Samhain anyways, so I don't see a fucking point. Sorry, y'all gonna have to wait for y'all's general messages, because this video is about the devil. Now, before we begin, I am going to address some misconceptions that a lot of you guys come to me with about this devil. Now, keep in mind, depending on who you go to, some of these misconceptions are not going to be easily remedied. Let me explain. This is a cultural practice. It has differences in different cultures. However, anyone can do it. It's not a closed thing. It's in multiple different cultures. And that means that there are going to be cultural variants. I know the variant that comes from where I live in the southern United States. That is the variant of this that I personally am aware of and the one that I talk about. That's the one that I've studied. That's the one that I've looked into. When you go talk to another practitioner, you're going to see differences in that practice. You go to an Appalachian practitioner, because I'm in the deep south. I'm south of, and I'm not in Appalachia. There's might be minor differences. Just maybe that way. You go talk to a traditional European folk witch. There's going to be differences because this is mentioned in traditional European craft as well. There's a similar ritual mentioned in hoodoo that people have actually tried to call me out for appropriating in the past, even though it's not quite the same and they've developed completely separately. But there is one where they refer to him as the Crossroads Man that I have been made aware of that I did not even know about before going viral on TikTok. I had never looked into it because I didn't know about it, you know, is what it is. But there's going to be differences depending on who you ask. And so I just want this to be clear. If someone disagrees with me, they are not wrong, but they're also not right, in my opinion. Does that make any sort of sense? Well, I'm talking to a camera, so y'all can't really answer if that makes sense or not, but it's going to have to make sense because ultimately there are differences in the way that this is done back and forth, place to place. And so I just want to clear that when I tell you anything about this, I'm not trying to discredit anybody else's personal experiences or personal gnosis or anything like that, because everyone is going to have different experiences, and I think we all need to be respectful of that. But if you are coming to me specifically for help on this, I'm going to tell you how I specifically do it. Okay, I'm not going to sit down and know everything about every practice because I'm sorry, I just don't have that much brain space. So if you're wanting something from a slightly different practice or a different angle, you may want to ask a different practitioner who knows about this. So this starts us off with an interesting question. Who is the devil? And that's a great question because a lot of you guys come to me and you will say something like, how do I make a deal with Satan? And I'm like, I call him the devil, not Satan, because I'm not talking about Satan, at least from what I know Satan to be. Now, some people absolutely see them as interchangeable. Same with Lucifer. Some people see those names as all interchangeable beings. I certainly do not. So when I tell you guys, like, who are asking to make a deal with Lucifer or Satan, and I tell you, I'm not talking about Lucifer or Satan, I'm talking about the devil, and then you proceed to walk over me in my messages and tell me, like, hey, so, okay, cool, how do I make a deal with Lucifer? After I just told you, I'm not talking about Lucifer. I kind of get pissed off because I'm like, how can I keep you as safe as possible? Because I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's completely safe and completely just whoop-de-doo. It's a high risk, high reward type situation. How can I expect you to have any respect for that when you just told me right there that you aren't listening to what I say and you don't respect what I'm saying? How am I supposed to do that? Again, in other people's practices, yeah, they will. They will interchange those. In mine, I don't. And if you're coming to me for advice and you're coming to me to figure out how to do this, which again, I'm happy to share and I'm happy to talk to you, you're gonna have to use my language. You're gonna have to be willing to listen. And if you're not, then I don't want to help you. I still will, but I don't want to. And it automatically sets a bad tone in my head for the conversation because, again, it shows me that you aren't willing to listen. So moving on from that, I'm going to explain now the importance of really understanding what the crossroads are, because this is another important aspect. So to truly meet the devil, you're going to want to go to the crossroads. I've seen it work in the middle of the day, but the ideal time would be around 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. That's kind of your ideal range. I have seen it work without using that time range. And I've seen it work in the middle of broad daylight. But your odds of it working are going to be a lot better if you do it in the middle of the night. The chances are way higher, way better, way fucking better. So ideally at that time. And you're going to want to bring an offering. My favorite offering would be music that you're singing, because he'll take that, you know, or if you come up with a banjo or something. So the crossroads in the middle of the night, he'll take that. He will take that as an invitation to show up. Alcohol is also a common one. It's not my favorite. I definitely prefer music. And I'm not good at music, so y'all don't need to hear that, but he'll take it as an invitation to show up. This offering is like giving someone a snack when they come into your home. Okay, or it's like you're having a business meeting and you gave your boss coffee. So that way you can try to negotiate for a raise. That coffee, while it may make you look good, is not really a part of that negotiation. It's a nicety. It's a welcoming thing. So please do not take this as me saying giving him alcohol automatically gets you what you want. It's not. It is absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. And as for y'all wondering what a crossroads exactly is, it's typically an intersection with two roads going like that. So it can be an intersection. I've seen people do it with apartment buildings before, where they have the hallway intersections. It's just any transitional area, right? So like I've even seen staircases, and I see how staircases could be used. You know, I see options. However, with that all being said and done, turning your living room into a crossroads because it has a hallway on one side and a kitchen on the other is kind of lazy. It's kind of a cheap out. And do you really want that energy in your home? That's for you to decide, because I think it's lazy. I think doing that's kind of cheap, but it's up to you, and I'm not going to tell you not to do it. So from there, you're going to want to feel the energy shift. How do you know he's there? You'll feel the energy shift. If you're a medium and you can see well, you may see him, you may not. You should definitely feel the energy shift though, even if you've got nothing going on. He likes to make his presence kind of known. If you don't, then he probably didn't show up. And if that's the case, you can try again at any point. It is what it is. So now for actually making the deal, right? You're going to tell him what you want, but you're going to want to offer something, and you're going to want to be very specific, okay, as to what you're willing to offer. I'm willing to tell you guys that he likes fame. So if you're making a deal for fame, it's not a bad idea to put his name in kind of a way that puts him in a public light, you know, speak word of him, like sing a song for him if you're trying to get famous for your music ability, all of that stuff. That's a pretty common one that goes pretty well. He also enjoys playing dirty tricks on people, which is why he can be good for gambling. I'm not going to go deeper into that one for the audience I have, though. I'm not going to talk more about that specific avenue. A lot of my audience is probably a little too young to gamble, or a little too young to where they definitely don't have the money to be gambling it away. So from there, you're going to get him to show up, and you're going to want to be very specific in what you are willing to offer. Very specific. He does not want souls. Do not come ask me how to sell your soul. Do not tell me anything about souls. I have repeated many times that he does not want souls. I have said in the video that went fucking viral on TikTok that he does not want souls, and y'all still contact me asking me how to sell your soul. When I have said in bold letters, he does not want your soul. I feel like I am a freaking record player with that one, okay? So if you come DMing me asking me how to sell your soul, and you've watched this video and I've told you more than once he doesn't want souls, and you still ask, okay, so how can I sell my soul, Satan? I'm gonna lose it, okay? I am at my wit's end with that one. I am at my wit's fucking end with that one. And that's just me being honest, okay? He does not want your souls. He wants fame, and he wants to be playing nasty tricks on people. That's what he wants. He does not want your soul. No. So come up with something that would appeal to one of those two avenues, that is something that you personally are willing to give up. Now, this also has to be something that is yours to give to an extent. You cannot give him your psychic abilities. Do not try to give him your spiritual abilities. One, giving them to him doesn't benefit him. And two, why would he want that? You're going to have to think as to what he would want. Again, likes to play nasty tricks and dirty tricks on people, likes fame. Why would he want your spiritual ability? Please stop asking me if you can give up your spiritual gift. Please stop. And I'm not going to give you examples of good deals in this video, because ultimately you need to determine what you are willing to give up, and you need to make that shit ironclad, okay? You need to leave no room for interpretation in that deal whatsoever. Do not fuck yourself over like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. I'm personally an advocate of writing it down for yourself and reading off of that to him, so that way if shit gets weird or something, you always have a reference point to look back at and be like, this is what I offered. And you have a reference point to be like, okay, I understand. I understand what my end of the bargain is exactly, and I remember it. I'm a huge advocate of writing it down. From there, you can leave. You can go home. There's going to be one of three ways that this entire thing is going to pan out from there. Okay? And seeing if it worked is kind of a wait and see. You know, it's a wait and see a lot of times. You'll do what you agreed to do. It'll work or it won't. Let me explain. So option one, outcome one, is ideal. Okay? And this is how I like to explain it. Outcome one is ideal, meaning it worked exactly as planned. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. He got what he wanted. It's a win-win. You're wealthy. Your family member's well now. Whatever you were trying to make a deal for. By the way, I'm iffy on making a deal for someone to get well. But either way, congratulations. This is a success story. Number two, it doesn't work. This is a disappointing outcome. It leads to nothing happening. You can still make another deal with him, though. You know, this isn't the end-all be-all. You don't have a cap on how many deals you can make. This one may have just not worked. I recommend not necessarily jumping the gun on, oh, it didn't work, it was an absolute failure, unless, like, it was very specific on when it was supposed to happen, unless you were very specific on timing, because it could work later. It could work later. And you don't want to be promising two things for the same thing. You don't want to be paying double for the price of one. But this is a disappointing outcome, but it's way better than this final outcome. Option three, you weren't clear enough in what you were willing to offer. You, heaven forbid, just went up and said like, hey, I want this. Take whatever you want. I offer anything. That's an absolutely devastating option for you. Because he's going to take something that you're not willing to give up. And a lot of you guys will come to me and say, I'm willing to give anything for this. No, you're not. No, you absolutely are not. No, you're not. No. Nope. You're not. Plain and simple. Because if you were truly willing to give up anything, then you would have done it. For a lot of these things, and for other things, it's like, well, no, you're honestly not. You know, there are limits on what you're willing to give. And that's true for everything, and that's okay. That's valid. There should be a limit on what you're willing to give to get something. You know? But in that same breath, he'll walk over that. You don't want to be like, I'll give anything. No. No. And if that's the case, good fucking luck. That's why I call this a high risk, high reward type of work, right? Because it's high risk of something going wrong, but there's also a very good potential for a high reward. So yeah, this is just generally what I tell most people who are wanting to make a deal with the devil, and contact me about it. Figured I'd just make it public to make it easier because I've been getting a lot of DMs over the last 2 years and I'm kind of tired, honestly, especially because this is such a small part of my practice and none of y'all have really interest in anything else, and most of y'all aren't really into the occult anyways and are just wanting a high risk, high reward thing. So here is your video. If you still have questions, you can DM me on Instagram at Cursed of Cass. Please do not ask me a question that I addressed in this video. Please, please don't. No. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. That's why we're even doing this right here. But that's typically about what I'm telling people. If you have further questions, if you want to contact me personally, by all means, my DMs are open on Instagram. I will still talk to you, but just watch this first, please. And if you're looking for a book on something similar or something like this, I highly suggest The Devil's Dozen by Gemma Gary. It's pretty good, honestly. It is pretty good. It's pretty accessible. I tried to find my hard copy for this video and I can't find it. And I'm not going to delay this video to go look for it, unfortunately, because I'm kind of lazy and yeah. But I think you can find it online as a free PDF. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure you can find it as a PDF. Yeah. And again, this is just so that way the devil hears me and doesn't make this go viral on YouTube. I will delete this if this goes viral. I'll delete this, Mr. Man. So please don't make this go viral. I'm cool with my following see it, and I'm cool with like the people who are actually interested seeing this, but I really don't want to go viral and have to deal with a million comments about everything. I don't. So I'll delete it if it gets too big. So yeah, I hope that all of you guys enjoyed this. I hope that y'all have learned something, and I hope that this clarifies some of the confusion that y'all have had in DMs with me before.